Yeah.
Okay. Today we'll start with chapter 2, Hare Krishna, summary of Gita. It is called Gita Saramsha. Now, yesterday we finished with Arjun having so many questions in his mind, right? So, chapter 2 now opens with like seeing the helplessness of Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Our most beloved Sri Krishna, his advice commences now from second chapter. Now he will start giving advice, where our dearest Lord drives home the point that each one of us has to perform our respective karma or the action, which will lead to ultimate salvation. And he who discards his
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I am just saying that I was not able to attend the class of yesterday. So, is there any recorded video?
Yes, I have uploaded it on the YouTube. I will tell you the link after the class.
Okay, okay, Mataji. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So here Krishna wants to tell us the point that we have to perform our karma, and he who does not do the karma properly or swadharma properly will have to pay heavy penalty, heavy price in form of bondage, and will forever be tied by his actions, which will enslave us in this chakkar, in this cycle of permanent shackles of birth and death. So chapter 2 talks about three very important points that we have to remember. What are the three important points? One is about the individual soul, Jivatma, and its nature, its existence, the Jivatmas. Then, number two, it is going to talk about karma, our karma. And number three, sthita prajna. What is sthita prajna? It means a person with having a balanced mind. How to have a balanced mind, sometimes we are anxious, sometimes we are angry. So we are going to talk about this chapter is going to dedicate on these 3 points. So our dearest Lord Sri Krishna, he conveys to Arjun. He says, despite you have fought so many battles, right? You have had many battles, but why is your mind so weakened? Why? Because he was unable to discriminate between right and wrong over there. Yes, it's right that we are all bound by our relations, our blood relations. They say, right, the blood is thicker than water. So many of us, we want to protect our family. We want to shield our kith and kin, but we need to still have the discriminative powers, right, to identify what is truth. We can't just shield them unnecessarily. So our soul at the time of death or departure from our mortal body, when we are dying, right, it just changes its physical structure. And Sri Krishna tells that once again it enters into a new structure. What structure we don't know. According to our karma, according to what we do in this life, we take another form. So it's very important that we should be very careful from now onwards in our conduct, in our journey, and because the journey will never end otherwise. The cycle and the shackles of birth and death will keep on going. So if we need a fine life in future, so our actions or our deeds have to be impeccable, means clean. Our thoughts, our actions have to be very pious, very pure, and we have to realize we have to perform our actions prescribed by the scriptures, and we should totally surrender. We should surrender to the Lord also said that duty is, we should do our duty. We should not run away from our karma. We should do our duty, but we should be free from attachment. Attachment is what causes misery, So here Arjuna wanted a lot to explain, Krishna to explain what are the various qualities of a person who is composed at all times, is very composed at all times. So what are the qualities? He is in full equilibrium, stable mind at every stage of life. This is very important for our youth also now. Nowadays, everybody is having some anxiety or problem all the time. So this chapter is very, very important that way. So this second chapter, it greatly emphasizes on the importance of each one of us understanding the nature of our soul, how we should practice our karma, how should we have the total sense of surrender, and how to always have that equilibrium that I was telling you, even in the midst of all this chaos and all this confusion and all this cacophony for yoga. So how to have a state of balanced mind, this is what is going to be told in chapter 2. This is just a short recap, kind of quick recap of yesterday. So what did we do? We saw three people's point of view from in the battlefield. We saw Dhritarashtra's point of view, we saw Arjuna's point of view, and we saw Duryodhan's point of view, seeing the same battlefield, how their feelings and emotions were, right? Then we saw the conch shells, different conch shells they were having, right? Rishikesha having Panchajanya, and Arjuna having Devadatta, then Bhim having Pondra, Ananta Vijaya was Yudhishthir's conch shell, Nakula was having Sughosha, and Sahadev was having Mani Pushpaka, right? So we were having these conch shells, and then 9 reasons. Anybody who can tell me the 9 reasons where we felt that Pandavas may win the war? What were the symbols? What
Divine chariot,
Yes, ma'am.
Kapidhwaja.
Bhagyalakshmi,
Kapidhwaja.
Bhagyalakshmi.
Rishikesh, Hrishikesh,
Ma'am, Dharma Kshetre, Divine
Yes.
Chariot, Kapil
Kapil Dvaja,
Gandiv,
Conchal.
Yakta Jivita, Mokshada Ekadashi, and Bhagyalakshmi and Rishikesh.
Excellent. Very nice. May I know your name, please?
Ma'am, Pooja Sharma.
Pooja, very good. Excellent, beta. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
And here, I can see you all are being very, very attentive. So glad today. So here we see that our hero, how is he feeling? He looks like very sad, right? And he did not want to fight the war. Now, who will tell me what were the 5 reasons yesterday that we found that Arjuna was not ready to fight?
Compassion. Ma'am, family traditions, indecisiveness.
Family traditions confused. He was thinking that if my elders will die, who will guide my descendants?
Very nice. Again, Pooja, is it Pooja?
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice, very nice. Who will give protection to the elders of my family? Very nice. He said, Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulas krishnam adharmo bhavatyuta. Yeah, he said that. Yeah, very nice. Very good. Hare Krishna. Very nice. So he was thinking that why should I be part of unnecessary violence, right? So now this is how it ends yesterday, and the shloka starts from here. First shloka. Now Arjun is saying Bhishma and Dronacharya, right? Because he took the ratha in between of the battlefield, and he sees Bhishma and Dronacharya in front of him and feels very sad. He is in anguish. He says it's better I go and beg somewhere and live my life like that rather than kill my elders and guru, On hearing this, of course, Dhritarashtra was the happiest person. He said, wow, great. Now I can be rest assured. He won't fight. He will go away. The kingdom will still be under my control. But now, his bhram, his delusion, it's going to break now. How? With this shloka. What is this shloka? Let's read. Sanjaya uvacha tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Uvacha, saying, Madhusudana is going to say. This is what Sanjay is telling. Somebody wanted to volunteer today for English?
Yes, ma'am, I can volunteer today.
Okay, please.
Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words.
Yeah, he's full of compassion now. He is asking, what is happening? Arjuna is totally depressed. His eyes are full of tears. What is Krishna now? He is totally right. He is totally now he is very sad. So Dhritarashtra is come into tension as to what is Krishna going to do? Is he going to, because he knows Krishna, right? Is he going to bring this under control? I thought Arjuna is going to leave and go away. But now he's saying that Krishna is going to say something after seeing the tears in his eyes. What is he going to do? Is he going to bring the situation under control? Is my dream of having the kingdom for myself, is it going to shatter now? He's thinking now. So now, let's see what he says. So, Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anaryajushtamaswargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy."
That's what he said. Now, what happened? When does Lord Krishna begin to instruct Arjuna? Only after Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna as a disciple. He is very intelligent. Arjuna is intelligent. He could understand that affection for his family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of it was confusing him, right? Oh my God, how can I kill my own people and all that? He understood that. He was intelligent enough. He could understand that his duty to fight was very important. It was awaiting him, right? Still, but having that weakness, miserly weakness he was having, he could not discharge his duty as a Kshatriya. So he is therefore asking Lord Krishna. He is the supreme spiritual master. So he says, tell me, what do I do? How do I do? Please come up with a solution. He surrendered himself to Krishna as a disciple now. And he wants all that friendly talk. No more friendly talk. Till now they were friends, right? Now no more friendly talk. It's like master and disciple now. Serious talk. So Arjun wants to talk very seriously with his spiritual master. So he is the original spiritual master and the son of this Bhagavad Gita, right? And Arjun is the first disciple here for understanding this Gita. So now here, did you notice it's written Shri Bhagavanu Vacha? So Srila Prabhupada says, nowhere will you see anywhere written Bhagavanu Vacha, Bhagavad Gita begins with Bhagavanu Vacha. And Bhagavan is what? Absolute truth. Now here, first time in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna is addressed as Bhagavan, right? And how did we know? According to Vedic scholars, we had Parashar Muni. He explained what Bhagavan means. Bhagavan means having everything, all wealth, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and full renunciation. 6 qualities, 6 opulences that we all will have. Everybody has something or the other, but absolute, no one in the world will be having. So let's see who is Bhagavan.
Ma'am, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, here it is written in this slide. Aishwarasya samagrasya veerasya yashasa shriyah jnana vairagyashchaiva shanam bhaga itirana. See, very nicely it is written. It is there in Vishnu Puran 6.5.47 for your reference. The one who has absolute wealth, absolute strength, absolute fame, absolute beauty, absolute knowledge and renunciation is Bhagavan. No one else has all these 6 opulences. How do you know that anyone has? We all have something or the other, but absolute no one has. Parashar Muni, a great sage and the father of Vyasadeva, who compiled all the Vedic literature, gave the following definition of God. This is what he told about Bhagavan's definition. So see, he has all the wealth. He has whole Srishti, As we are very limited, we can only count how much money we have in the bank, but he has the whole universe. Like in chapter 7 also it says, Mattav parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. He says, I have everything. Everything is mine, And in Isha Upanishad also it says, what was that? Isha vasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatam jagat. He says, everything is mine here. everything animate, inanimate, whatever is there in this whole universe, it is controlled and owned by the Lord. So we need to know that first of all. See what all he has. He has beauty, he has wealth, he has fame, he has strength, he has knowledge, and he has sacrifice. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He's all, he's everything. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person. His body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is primeval Lord. He is Govinda. Yeah, and he is the cause. Sarva Karana Karanam. Or he is the cause of all causes. It is written in, this is from Brahma Samhita 5.1. For your reference, just for your reference, in case anybody wants to like see. See, our vision is not perfect, right? We can't see. We say, where is Bhagavan? We cannot see. So how can we see Bhagavan with these eyes? Vision is also not perfect. Let's suppose we go on a drive. What do you see now here in this picture? Anyone?
Lake.
Ma'am, clouds.
Natural
Yeah.
landscape.
Yeah, you see clouds, you see land, you see
That's
sky
a
also. So let's go a little closer. What do you see now?
A
tree.
tree,
Now
a
you see a tree,
shelter.
right? When you saw from far, you couldn't see the tree clearly. But as you went closer and closer and closer, you could see the tree. Now we go a little closer. Now what did you see?
Parrot.
I'm a
Parrot on
parrot.
parrot.
Bird, yeah, eating a fruit, right? So what you see from far, and when you go nearby, then there is a difference, right? So same way, Srila Prabhupada ji, he is compared like this one to Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. From far off, what you see, the effulgence is whatever you see, the light is Brahman. And if you go little closer, you see four-handed Paramatma. And if you go a little bit more closer, you see Bhagavan, Krishna. So same, for example, you have, say, two friends, right? And they are very new. So you just know their name, like Pooja and some other name we know, right? Now, do I know where they live, where they don't live? Do you know the address? No, right? You have new friends. You have made two new friends. You know the names. Do you know where they live?
No.
No. So what do their parents do? What does he have any siblings or not? Would you know? No. But you slowly, make friendship. You go a little bit more closer. Then you get to know them more, right? Similarly, then you come to know who they are, what they are. Similarly, we say that the closer we go to God, the more details we come to know about God. We have to be in association. Then only we will come to know. Now, for example, now you see, first light, it is Brahman. This is the effulgence. Then we see Paramatma, Chaturbhuja, Paramatma. And then we see Shyam Sundar form of Krishna with flute and peacock feather, right? And Krishna is watching. Krishna is watching everyone, whatever you are doing.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And whatever you're doing at home, you think that I have taken this money from the wallet. Nobody will know. You must have done that. Taken money or taken something, eatables from the fridge without telling parents. So this happens, right? And you think, no, nobody knows. But actually, Krishna is watching us. Right? What is Krishna's favorite food?
Ma'am,
Butter.
Yeah, makhan, butter. That's why it's called
Makhan chor.
makhan chor. Yeah. Once, you know what, Krishna went to Gopi's house and he wanted to steal butter. And yeah, that was okay. Going and taking butter and all fine. But he also broke all the pots also. So Gopis came running to Yashoda and they complained. She said, do one thing, hang it up. Krishna is baby, he won't be able to reach it. So it's fine. So Again, they hung it up, and again Krishna went, and they saw next day that it was all broken. They again came and complained to Yashoda. My Yashoda, what is happening? Your Krishna is breaking all the pots. She said, okay, do one thing, hang it up and switch off the lights. They did that. Again, they saw, let's see, Krishna stole again. They thought maybe because his jewelry, he's wearing all his jewelry, so it's shining. That is why he could see. So what did Ma Yashoda do? She took off all the jewelry. And then let's see what happened. And then again they saw. Again he went and he took it out. Then they saw that as soon as he had entered, there was effulgence. Dedipyaman. Full effulgence coming out of his body. So that's our Makhan Chor Kanhaiya. Such effulgence he has. That's Brahman. Then Paramatma and Krishna. They're all. So see this. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. The absolute truth. This is absolute truth. It is realized in three phases of understanding, three divine aspects. It can be, Srila Prabhupada ji has given the example of sun. It says Krishna and Supreme Personality of God, they are identical, right? Krishna is referred as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. And he said that Brahman is impersonal, all-pervasive spirit. Paramatma is four-handed personality of God, Paramatma, who resides inside us, all the living entities, localized aspect of Supreme. And he is in the heart of all the living entities here. Here his Paramatma is living. And Bhagavan is Krishna. So one of the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, he explains, he says sunshine, three things: sunshine, sun's surface, and sun planet itself. He is comparing like that. He says one who studies the sunshine only, the sun is all pervading, right? Everywhere. You can't say I only get sunshine and you will not get sunshine. Sunshine is all pervading, like Brahman, everywhere. So it is one who studies the sunshine only is a preliminary student, first stage. The one who understands the sun's surface, that there is a surface, is little bit further advanced. And one who can enter the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine is, its universal pervasiveness and its effulgence of impersonal nature may be compared to those who can realize only Brahman aspect, of the Bhagavan, of the absolute truth, who little bit advanced, little bit further, who know the sun disk. They are compared to the knowledge of Paramatma. And slowly, if you enter into the heart of the sun planet, then you realize the supreme personal features of Bhagavan, the Shyam Sundar form of absolute truth of Bhagavan or Krishna. He further says that Srila Prabhupada said that devotees, bhaktas or devotees who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the truth, they are top. That is top. It's not that the others are not, they are good. Absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter, the sunshine, sun disk, everything. It cannot be separated from one another. Yet the students of three different phases are not in the same category. Bhagavan feature, if you come to know, it's the top. That's what he explains, Srila Prabhupada ji. Let's see what he says. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam.
Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all the composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your discipline and a soul surrendered onto you. Please instruct me.
Now he is your disciple. So he is totally confused. Very important shloka of this. This is the turning point of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna's Upadesh, the advice starts after this shloka, which is said by Arjun. After Arjun says this, he's forgetting his duty. He is a what? He is a Kshatriya. He is forgetting his duty. That is why he is admitting, yes, Karpanya dosha, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha. He says, my natural duty, I am forgetting. Therefore, I have become miser. So in one of the lectures of Prabhupada, he says to become disciple means no more argument now. Once you become a shishya, you are not going to argue. When we are friendly, we can have argument, we can have counter arguments. Within friends, we do have, right? But when there is an order from a guru, then there is no more argument. So therefore, Arjuna says, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha. Actually, my behavior should be exactly like a kshatriya to fight for the just cause. But somehow I'm not able to do. I'm denying this. I'm a karpana. Means it means karpana means like one who does not properly use his position. You know, if one man is rich, for example, and he does not use his money, simply he sees the money. I have the money. I'm looking at the money, but I'm not using it. This is called karpana. Karpana. Similarly, Arjun is powerful. He can fight. He has won so many battles. And he's a Kshatriya also. But he's denying that ability, right? He's denying his ability. Therefore, he's thinking, I've become Karpana, miser. Although I have got strength, I'm denying to fight. Although suppose I have got money, I don't want to spend. So then that called Karpana. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. Now I am infected with Karpanya dosha. Now what to do? So what is your duty? So just when you have this problem, this confusion, whenever you don't understand now what to do, then you go to a person who, just like when you become diseased, you have a problem. Where do you go? You go to a doctor, right? You're suffering with a disease. So you will go to a doctor, you'll ask him what to do, he'll give you medicine, and that's how you treat your disease, right? So whenever you are having a problem, it is very nice to go to a superior person and ask him what to do. Now, who can be better than Krishna? Who can be a superior person than Krishna? Therefore, Arjun here is asking, see, last line, he says, Prichami Twam. Prichami Twam. So what does it mean? I am asking you. So he has to ask somebody, right? So he's asking Krishna, because it is my duty. Now I'm falling in my duty. I'm being a little faulty. It is not good. I must ask somebody who is better than me, who is superior to me. That is my duty. In the first chapter, you must have noticed, Krishna was very quiet. He was listening. Arjuna kept on saying this, I'm not able to do, I have got compassion, sin, it is this, it is that, I'm confused. Krishna was very quiet. That is a very great quality of a teacher. They just don't go giving advices without even anybody asking for it. He just kept quiet. Let me see what he has to say. He wanted to hear Arjuna completely. In second chapter, Arjuna is now ready and wants his advice and is asking for it now. And Krishna is going to give the advice. In this lesson, Krishna will answer his questions. Before that, he will talk about Atma Tattva, which means you should know thyself. And Krishna smiles, because now the roles have changed. First they were friends, now they are Guru and Shishya. So the tone will be a little bit serious. Now he will have to advise in a very serious tone, right? Krishna will say that sense gratification should be given up. And the easiest way to give up all the desire for sense gratification is to be engaged in Krishna consciousness activities and chant Hare Krishna. So he is going to say all that now. He is starting to give his advice. Just see how Arjuna is asking. Now this is the relationship now. Guru and disciple. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuhyati.
As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes on to another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change.
See, now you see in the picture how the soul, the white thing that you see in the picture, it is just passing by. The body is going down, right? And what is that white color that you see here?
Soul.
Soul. Every living
Soul.
entity is an individual soul, right? Each is changing his body every moment. You are a child, then you become a youth. Now you are a youth, then you become old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there. You are a child, you are a youth, you are an old man, but the spirit is same, right? It does not undergo any change. So this individual soul finally changes the body at death, and it transmigrates to another body. So it has to have another body in the next birth, right? Either material or spiritual. So some body it has to take, some form it has to take. So there was no cause for Arjuna to feel sad or lament about on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Dronacharya, for him, for whom he was so much concerned, Rather, he should have kind of rejoiced for changing bodies from old to new ones. Thereby, they'll be able to rejuvenate their energy, right? So Bhishma and Drona being noble souls, they were surely going to get spiritual bodies in the next life. All right, maybe life in some heavenly bodies for maybe superior enjoyment. In whatever case, there was nothing to lament about, right? Any man who has perfect knowledge of this, that there is a soul, there is a super soul, nature, both material and spiritual, and such a man who understands this is called dhira, sober man. He's not deluded by the change of bodies. So they say that when sky is reflected in the water, so the reflections, what does it show? It will show sun or moon and the stars. And they say stars are compared to the living entities. We all, so many living entities, right? And sun or the moon to be the supreme lord. Just comparison. So here it's not the same level, right? If Arjuna was on the same level as Krishna, then there was nothing to ask, right? But Krishna here is superior, and he is going to advise Arjuna about what he should do. He stated compassion as the reason to decline fighting. What was Krishna's reply? Krishna is saying that we are souls, we are not bodies. He is giving knowledge to Arjuna. He says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha.
The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind.
See, the soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, all kinds of weapons. You can have swords, flame weapons. In Mahabharata, we have seen in Ramayana, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons. Nothing can kill the spirit soul. It appears that there are many kinds of weapons made out of this elements, earth, water, air, ether, etc. In addition to whatever modern weapons of fire. So even the nuclear weapons of modern age are classified as fire weapons. Formerly, there were other weapons made up of material elements. But yeah, they were, we could see, right, when they were shooting arrows, fire weapons, water weapons. It's unknown to modern science. We don't know. But anyway, the soul can never be cut into pieces, nor can be be annihilated by any weapon. Very important, regardless of whatever scientific devices they are. Srila Prabhupada here again, he states in his lecture in that this is the distinction of soul being spirit. You take anything of this material world, in this world, you can take anything. They can be burnt. It is a question of only temperature. How much temperature you have to increase. Iron, any metal, hard thing, stone, anything. There is a temperature, certain temperature you need to have, but it will be burnt, right? But here it is said, soul cannot be burned also. It cannot be burned. So it is very minute. It is small, fragmental, atomic portion. It cannot be burned. And we think that, many modern scientists, they are thinking that it cannot, there cannot be any life in the sun globe. This Srila Prabhupada says, no, there is life. And we get from Vedic literature that there is life. They are human beings like us, but they are made up of fire. That's all. Because we have got so many, we don't have much experience, right? How in the fire can, we will start thinking, how in the fire can living entity can live, To answer the problem, Krishna says, Nainam dahati pavaka. Nainam dahati pavaka. He says, Nainam dahati pavaka is spirit soul cannot be burnt. If it would have been burned, according to our Hindu system, we burn the body, right? Then soul also should be burned. Atheists usually think, they think that the body is burned, everything is finished. They think like that. But Krishna says, Nainam dahati pavaka. It cannot be burned. That is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Avachyavadamshcha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha ninnantastava samarthyam tato dukkhataram nukin.
Your enemies will describe you in any unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you?
He's saying, Krishna is saying, your enemies will describe you in many unkind words. You are a Kshatriya, right? Now, Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning. What is he saying? Compassion. It's not befitting. He's a warrior. He's a Kshatriya. It's like, not good. So in not so many words, but he has proved his statements again, Arjuna's so-called compassion. He says, Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasma duttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchayah.
O son of
O
Kunti,
son of
either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will be conquered and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination.
So clear, with so much clarity, he has said. He says, you will be killed on the battlefield, you will attain Swarg. If you're going not, or you will be conquered and enjoy earthly kingdom. Get up and fight, right? He says, even though there is no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still has to fight, right? For even being killed, he would be elevated to heavenly planets, right? And Srila Prabhupada here says that Krishna says in two ways. If you don't fight, your enemies are going to like say bad things about you, blaspheme you, right? Avachya vadamshcha, see first leg. Avachya vadamshcha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha. So they will concoct something. They will manufacture some blasphemy against you. So you are becoming like very much sorry to fight with your own people, own family. Undoubtedly, you are very sorry. But if you will be defamed by your enemies, before getting that, you better die in the fight. Don't get defamed there. And by dying, you are not a loser, because hato va prapsasi swargam. Even if you die, don't think you are a loser, because immediately you are promoted to heavenly planets, because you have died as a soldier, right, in the war, because you are fighting for the right cause. It becomes punyavan, righteous, and heavenly planet is meant for righteous people, right? So by dying, by your death also in this righteous fighting, you will be promoted to heavenly planets. Both ways you will be profited. Ato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim. It says if you become victorious, then you will enjoy the kingdom. So both ways you are at an advantageous position. There is no loss in your part, right? Tasmat duttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchayah. Says definitely decide. I must fight. Fighting must be there. Yuddhaya. For matter of fighting, uttishta. Uttishta means get up. Why are you sitting like a coward? He's telling him. Arjuna is a famous fighter. He has attained a lot of fame by fighting. So many wars he has won. Right? He also had a fight with Lord Shiva also. After fighting, and he got Pashupat Astra from Lord Shiva, right? Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Dronacharya was so much impressed. He also awarded him with many weapons, right? He had a lot of military credentials to his name. So even his adopted father or Indra, he had given him so many astra or weapons, right? So at this point of time, if he abandons the battlefield, he is not only neglecting his duty as a Kshatriya, but he will also lose all the fame and all the good name that he has got it so far, right? It's not rightfully, it's not correct, right? So why is Arjun like expected to fight his family if it is considered a sinful act? Why? Because he's a Kshatriya. His primary duty is to fight, right? If he doesn't, then his enemies are going to describe in many unkind words and scorn on him, on his ability. What can be more painful than that, right? So that's why he said, no, you have to get up and fight now. नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्.
In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect me from the most dangerous type of fear.
He says, you have nothing to lose here, right? Srila Prabhupada here says, Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. So, Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. That second line, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. He says, Bhakti Yoga, some way or the other, it has got great effect. Then he tells a story of about this. You can see the rat and the small lamp over there. No, he tells the story that there is a story that in a puja room, in a deity room, a lamp was burning. So you know, right? Oil lamp, it has to be watched. Sometimes the wick needs to be pushed upwards. So so the lamp was almost going to be extinguished. So in the meantime, a rat came over there, and he thought that it is like something eatable, you know, this from the smell, maybe ghee wala diya. So he felt maybe something. So he wanted to try that. He touched it with mouth, the wick, and it became pushed up. So he kind of lighted the lamp in a way. Simply by that small action, he got salvation. Just try to understand, because he gave some little service to the deity. Hanuman, you can see how Hanuman did his service to Lord Ram. There's so many other instances. Swalpam appasya dharmasya trayato mayate bhayat. Krishna consciousness is so nice. And whatever you do very sincerely, it will never ever be lost. It's permanent. You execute 1%, you execute 2%, 50%, and if you can finish 100%, then next life sure you are going to Krishna. Even if you are not able to finish the whole course, still whatever you have done, this is a permanent credit. It's not temporary. Whatever you are doing now, whatever you are earning now, it's permanent. This will never be lost, says Krishna. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखायनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
Those who are on this path.
Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of these gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched.
Many branched. Those who are in this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. Strong faith that by Krishna consciousness, one will be elevated to highest perfection of life. It's called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. What is the resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness? It is based on knowledge. Vasudeva Sarva iti sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is rare. A good soul who knows perfectly that Krishna is the root cause of everything, right? If you water the root of the tree, one automatically distributes water to the leaves and branches, right? So by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, to himself, to family, to the society, everyone. So if Krishna is satisfied by our action, everyone is satisfied. So service is very important, but it should be practiced under a able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Krishna. Like see how Arjuna learned from his master Dronacharya. So we need to have somebody who can guide us, right? Who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be very well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to be to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna. We have to accept the instruction of the spiritual master, right, as our mission in life. But whose mind is not firmly fixed, definitely it is diverted, by various types of routine. Our mind is always running around here and there, right? So how do we know whose consciousness has merged, like in who has got superior in transcendences? So such a person who is in that at that level, he will always talk about Krishna and everything related to Krishna. And he wants Arjun to be Sthita Dhir Muni. Here he says that you have to be able to control your mind. So that's what he is asking Arjuna to do. And here, no small service done for Krishna is ever wasted, right? So all his devotees, you have to be a role model. You have to do anything, any small thing. Like I gave the example, like Srila Prabhupada that told about the rat story. All the devotees worship him that way by chosen words. Therefore, Lord is known as Uttama Shloka. No amount of chosen words is sufficient to enumerate the Lord's glory, but yet he is satisfied by such prayers. How if a small baby is there and he's trying to speak, but in broken words, not able to but father is very happy. Oh, my child is speaking something, right? He's satisfied, he's happy when his growing child tries to speak in broken linguistic attempts, right? So this is like great devotional service. Any kind of devotional service is very good. It is, what is devotional service? Like you have to do anything for Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Krishna, without expectation of any result. No expectation of result. If you have any expectation of the result, then it's not devotional service. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhuh ma te sangostva karmani.
The Lord
The
advised
Lord
that
advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result.
So that is what he said. So don't expect anything. He was therefore advised by Krishna to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. Don't attach yourself to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. He doesn't want to fight, he wants to go away. That is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation, he says. Any attachment, whether it's positive or negative, it's a cause of bondage only, right? So therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Yeah. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddha siddhyor samo bhutva samastvam yoga uchyati. He says, perform your duty. Equiposed, O Arjuna, you abandon all your attachment to success or failure. Have same equanimity, and that is called yoga. Shri Bhagavanuvacha prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atman yeva atmana tushtaha sthita prajnasta dochyate.
The blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, he is said to be in pure transcendental
Consciousness. Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruhaha Vitaragabhayakrodaha Stitadir Muniruchyate. One who is not disturbed in mind, even
One who is not disturbed in mind, even
when there is happiness, and who is free from all
one who is not
attachment.
disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Very important. Bhagavatam also affirms that any person who is in full Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of great sages, right? And whereas a person who is not transcendently situated has no good qualifications, because he's sure to be taking refuge in mental concoctions. He will thinking about himself, like what is happening. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation, because devotional service will instantly help one onto that platform of that transcendental consciousness. That's what he's saying here. So if we have to go to pure transcendental consciousness, we have to have devotional service. He will always remain happy in his natural position, serving the Supreme Lord. Here, Sthita Dhir Muni Richyate. Sthita Dhir Muni means what? It's about a sage who is capable of controlling his mind. He has no concern who is saying what are others saying about it. He is only interested in Krishna. He is interested in absolute truth. And what are the symptoms of such a person? Even if there are sadness in his life, even if there is any kind of misery in his life, he accepts it. He says, okay, this is the mercy of the Lord. Maybe he deserves even more punishment, but Krishna is being much more merciful on me, maybe due to past misdeeds, maybe something I must have done. And he's very well convinced that his loving father, the Krishna, he's trying to reduce his miseries to a minimum. He's very much convinced about that. And whenever he's happy also, he considers maybe this is the gift from God. I've got something from God. And maybe I'm not even, I don't even deserve this kind of gift, but God has given me. He realizes that, he finds himself in comfortable position. He says that, okay, Lord loves me. Because Lord loves me, he is giving me this. He is Thitdir. He is whatever happens, he is in very much balanced. That's what he says here. Like, for example, Prahlad Maharaj, right? Whatever happened, he was always praying to Lord. Yes? Have you heard about Prahlad?
Yes, Mataji.
ma'am.
Yeah. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते.
While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises.
This is very important. Like, when we are contemplating about the objects of the senses, Srila Prabhupada in one of his lectures also said, so these things are happening, right? And we are continuing our material life now, life after life. Not only in human life, I don't know how many forms of life we must have taken, right? But in other forms of life also. So should we not just stop? And should we not think that we should stop all this, at least in this life? Any intelligent person, we should think this opportunity, we have got the opportunity as a human life this time. We don't know when we'll get this kind of human life again. So we have got this human life. We have to start thinking now that we have to utilize this opportunity for spiritual perfection, so that we do not suffer life after life over these material pangs. This is determination, he says. Otherwise, whole thing, just see, controlling how it is nicely. Dhyayato Vishayan Punsam. Thinking of sense enjoyment all the time, right? Dhyayato Vishayan Punsam. Then it says, Sangaste Shupajayate. Sangaste Shupajayate means what? We are getting attached. We are becoming attached to it. And then Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Then I become attached to it. And if my lust is not fulfilled, what happens? Kamat krodho vijayate. We get angry. We are attached to something. We are objects of senses. We get attachment. And then after attachment, lust is developing. Greed is developing. And if it is not happening, we are not able to fulfill it, we get angry. That's how it is happening, right? And then we commit havoc. And actually, those who are very serious for spiritual liftment of life or enlightenment of life, they should try to control the senses, not by forcefully controlling or anything, by regulating it, by having a relationship with the God. Then what happens? What is the use? The use is the senses will be purified. It won't happen overnight, but it will be purified. Like when Haridasa Thakur was young devotee of the Lord, he was allured by Maya Devi, it says, and he could easily pass the test because he had unalloyed devotion for Krishna, for Lord Krishna. The sincere devotee, he will shun all material sense enjoyment because he has a higher taste. So when you have a higher taste, when you like something, for example, if you like rasgulla and there is something else lying down which is of lesser taste, what definitely you will go for rasgulla, right? Because it's of higher taste. So whatever, if once you have tasted the higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in association with Krishna, that's the secret of success. Srila Prabhupada says, param drishtva nivartate, he said. He said, if you get better thing, you will give the inferior quality thing. That is our nature. If you are getting a Mercedes Benz, you will just leave the normal Maruti because you are getting Mercedes Benz. You are developing higher taste, right? So param drishtva nivartate. So if you get better thing, you give up the inferior quality. So we need to develop the taste for higher spiritual enlightenment. So who is having a steady mind? One who is not disturbed in mind. One is who is free from all kinds of attachment, all kinds of fear, and all kinds of anger. That's what Srila Prabhupada explains here. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati.
From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
In the Nectar of Devotion, that was written by Srila Rupa Goswami, he says that over there, the symptoms of pure devotee, it is described in Nectar of Devotion. It says, what does it say? Like Phalgu Vairagya. In one of the shlokas, it is the word was mentioned, Phalgu Vairagya, because by development of Krishna consciousness, one knows, you have to put everything in its use to the service of the Lord, right? But those who are not having knowledge of Krishna, they are artificially thinking, oh, I should avoid everything material object, no iPhone, no mouse, no laptop, no nothing. And they are trying to say, I will stay away from every material object. But that's artificial. That's Phalgu Vairagya, means Faltu wala Vairagya. So-called renunciation is called Phalgu, less important. And those who are in Krishna consciousness, they know how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, he is not a victim of material consciousness. For example, like I'm using here laptop, I'm using the network, I'm using the headphones, I'm using the PowerPoint, I'm using phone here. But I know I'm using to teach Bhagavad Gita. It is for Krishna consciousness. I don't want to avoid it. I have no guilt feeling here, right? There is no Phalgu Vairagya here. Similarly with Prasadam also. The ones who are trying to practice Phalgu Vairagya, they will try to avoid good eatables. But a devotee of Krishna, he knows Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, right? So he will offer bhog and he will eat whatever has been offered. He will eat as prasadam. He will eat whatever is offered to him in devotion, right? So he will offer very good eatables to Krishna, and then the remnants he will eat as prasadam. Everything is becoming spiritualized. There is no danger of any downfall, right? So the devotee who takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas a non-devotee, he will reject it as material. No, this is all very good. How can I take like that? So that's Phalgu Vairagya. So that is what it is said over here. And everything goes on like that. And when there is anger, delusion will arise. Then when there is delusion, then memory problem. Memory is bewildered. Intelligence is lost. Intelligence is lost. One would again fall down into material pool, and the cycle continues. Cycle of birth and death, it will continue, and continue. How? See, First, you have object of senses over here. Dhayato, dhyayato, vishyan punsam, right? And then sangaste shupajayate, you have attachment. Then you get attached to it, and then there is lust, which comes, right? Sangat sanjayate kamaha, kamaha comes. When there is kam and it doesn't happen, kamat krodho bhi jayate, then you get angry. Kamat krodho bhi jayate. And then there is a delusion. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, right? What is exactly delusion? It's a belief that that is clearly false. It indicates, and it's a false belief. Abnormality in the affected person's thought process. So delude, what is happening? And then because of that, because there is that sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Smriti vibhrama is having bewilderment of memory. And then smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho, then buddhi is loss of intelligence. And then what happens? Buddhi nasha and is falls into the cycle of birth and again falls down. So this goes on and on. You have to not have all this. So this is the advice that Krishna is telling to Arjuna. So here, what does he say? His solutions to Arjuna's objection. He says, you must fight, as there is no loss, as if you lose also and die, you will go to heaven. And if you win, fine, you will get the kingdom, right? Arjuna, after hearing Krishna talk about all the components that you are Atma and devotional activities that serve the Lord with focused devotion, he's listening to all this. Krishna kind of touched all the topics, but then Arjuna said, "I'm getting more confused now. I want some further clarifications." Thus, this chapter is actually the summary of Bhagavad Gita, but after this, from chapter 3 to chapter 18, Krishna is going to address and he is going to explain everything in very much detail. Like for example, in chapter 3, like compassion, here in summary, he says compassion 2.11 to 30, we are not the body. No enjoyment 2.31 to 2.7. You will get, if you fight, you will get die, fight and die, heaven. You will win, you get the kingdom. Fear of sinful activities 2.33, 38 to 53. Devotional activity, if you will do, there is no sin. Destruction of family tradition, he gives the answer. Be a role model to prevent Varna Shankara. You have to be a role model, can't run away. Be a Kshatriya. Indecision 2.41. He says, serve the Lord with firm determination. You should not just do something. You have to, with lot of determination you need to have. And in 3.24, he says, if I did not perform the duties, all this world will put into ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would therefore destroy the peace of all living beings. That's what he says in 3.24, right? Utsi deyuri me lokaha na kuryam karma chedaham shankarasya chakarta syam upahanyami ma prajaha. So he says all that. In 3.24, he would be saying that. But anyway, this is the solution to Arjuna's objections. So what did we see here today? That we are not this body, we are soul. The soul is situated in the heart, and we cannot see the soul. No small service done for Krishna is ever wasted. From the story of the small rat also we came to know, right? So that is how that is the way of spiritual and godly life, and after attaining which a man is never bewildered. He's sthitadhir, right? If one is situated in this situated even like that, sthitadhir, even at the time of death, we can enter into the kingdom of God straight away. So second chapter, karma yoga, jnana yoga have been clearly discussed. Little bit of glimpse we got of bhakti yoga also. And as a very sincere student, Arjuna placed the matter before Krishna, his master, his spiritual guru, and he questioned Krishna to answer. And in answer, Krishna has elaborately explained karma yoga, or work in Krishna consciousness in 3rd chapter. He will explain very, very elaborately. And that 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga, we will be doing tomorrow. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।